Okay, today I want to introduce to you the best language and the best theory of language. That is Arabic and the theory of government and binding, that you can find in Chomsky's book Lectures on Government and Binding. Well, let's see what this theory has to give us. Government and binding. In fact, it consists of several principles. So according to Chomsky, there is a universal grammar, UG, which applies to all the languages of the world. So a bit of psychophilosophy of language to begin with. According to Radford, 1981, a mentalistic grammar is a model of the linguistic competence of the native speaker. So the goal of transformational grammar is to investigate how the human mind works. It is not just a theory of language, but rather a theory of language acquisition. So we have first to answer what is language before trying to answer the question how it is acquired. But there are a few problems on the way. That is, you have to answer what is language and what is it that you know when you know a language, and what are the essential defining characteristics of natural languages. Do languages differ from each other in unpredictable ways, or do they all share certain common universal properties? Where the suggestion of Chomsky is that there is a universal grammar, certain principles that are shared by all languages. He called these principles. And then you have parameters, that is, some languages differ from each other, like when you see subject, verb, object, SVO language, VSO language, verb, subject, object, etc., etc. So, competence has two aspects, a grammatical and pragmatic competence. For instance, today was a disaster. Can only be understood pragmatically, that is to say, from the context. For instance, a professor describing how his lesson went to his wife, while a sentence such as John thinks Harry is nuts is understood logically as referring to two distinct persons regardless of any context. It is the grammatical competence. So the native speaker has got this capacity of understanding sentences, sometimes by themselves and sometimes context dependent, right? Okay, so the first principle of this UG is called X bar. So a sentence has a linear and a hierarchic structure represented in phrase markers. What is exactly a phrase marker? Just the tree that you draw, S and B, etc., etc. But now, X bar. X bar suggests that each category, be it a noun or verb or adjective or preposition, can be added to a complement to give X bar, and then to a specifier to give X double bar. So you have a head, a first projection, and a maximal projection. Now the lexicon specifies the characteristic of each word. So for instance, put is characterized as a verb that is an NP and a PP, like put the car in the garage. Now, the transformations, we have given many transformations like passive, question, etc. So in the example of which car did your father put in the garage, in fact, Chomsky suggests a deep structure like an echo question. Your father put which car in the garage, and then you move this which car to the initial position. Well, I said that this theory is very good for Arabic because when you move to the principle of case and government, it applies perfectly. And Chomsky himself gives the examples of قتل زيد الولد. He made a mistake. He wrote ولدا. In fact, it just الولد. قتل زيد سير يوم الجمعة. Maybe these sentences are taken from Sibawayh, I suggest. Well, government. What is government? it's one word affecting another. So if you say, I gave the book, I gave he the book, it's not grammatical, because give governs the pronoun and assigns the objective case to it. So case and government are linked. And then you have binding. Besides syntax, Chomsky's model deals with problems of reference. So if we turn from syntax to semantics for a moment, the syntactic component of a grammar has the task of specifying which combination of words in a language do or do not form grammatical sentences. Well, the semantic component of the grammar is concerned with specifying what those sentences, structure generated by the syntax, actually mean. So for instance, the sentence, John thinks he is clever, and the sentence, he thinks he is clever. In the first sentence, he could refer to both John or another person. But in the second sentence, he thinks he is clever, he can refer to both. Now, after that you have case. You know, in English, the case, the personal pronouns in English may have as many as 3 distinct forms, that is he, him, and his, depending on the government. So he is clever, he is governed by the inflection. And him, I gave him, it's governed by the verb. And his book, it's governed by the book. So I think that this theory applies to Arabic better than English. You have الحالات الإعرابية. When I went to MIT to attend the courses by Chomsky, Haj Ross, John Bresnan, Jumana Mailing, etc., Maurice Halley, all these people, I found Mr. Chomsky talking about the empty category, I was puzzled, what does the empty category mean? So when I was attending Chomsky's lectures in 1982, he was referring to the empty category, this beautiful American accent. I could make no sense of it. And he kindly clarified my puzzle in one of his letters. I will do that in the next video if you do not mind. So, to summarize, government binding is the best theory of language of the 20th century, and Arabic is the best language of all. And this government binding theory suggests 7 principles: X bar, government, case, binding, bounding, control. I will try to explain these things in detail for anyone who would ask. Thank you so much. Thank you.